Welcome back to Fire to Fork. Today we are going to be doing pasta alla vodka. Weird, I know, right? Vodka pasta. Doesn't make any sense, but trust me, this is a really, really good one and an easy one. First things first, let's light a fire. I think it's an upside down fire kind of a day. So I'm at the farm, the family farm, and I'm here for a few days, so I've actually brought my laptop and things like that, and I'm going to try and set this up as a little portable home office for this trip and see how we go. Because if I can do some editing while I'm down here, it's going to make my life a lot easier in the future. All right, so bit of Zippo tinder. This is actually fat wood. You don't have to use that, you can just use sticks. I just happen to have some sitting around. And lighter. That click is still just so satisfying. I'm going to let that burn down, and I'm actually going to go back and keep doing some work. Back in a sec. Okay, so let's get to prepping this thing to make everyone happy after the last episode I did on the camper trailer where I didn't put something wet under my my breadboard. Cloth. Breadboard. I got so many messages. Yes, I know my breadboard was sliding over, I just didn't even notice it. There we go, nice and secure, okay? Cool. Okay, I'm actually going to go and grab my wok quickly and we'll put the stuff in it. I know, pasta in a wok, a little bit weird, a little bit different, but it's just the vessel that I think will work the best in this particular circumstance. I don't have a big, wide pan, and I find that this does a really good job of that. So let's do it. Start off with an onion. Now the good thing about pasta alla vodka is there isn't a strict Italian way of doing it, because it's kind of an American dish as far as I can work out. So the Italians aren't too sensitive about it, which isn't great for my YouTube algorithm because I don't get angry Italian comments, which are really helpful. But it is very good for me in terms of my ability to do a video and not cop abuse. I have seen so many variations on this dish, it's not even funny. Which makes my life a lot easier. And yours, because you can relax and know that you're not offending anyone by adding your own little twist, which is exactly what I'm doing. Look, it's probably a touch too much onion, but we'll just chuck about that in there. A little bit less. So 3/4 of an onion, and then we need a little bit of pancetta. Again, this is, some people use this, some people use bacon, some people use prosciutto, some people use nothing at all. It's a vegetarian dish. But I want these sort of fattier bits. Drop that in there, and to that we are going to add a good splash of olive oil, about probably maybe 3 tablespoons or 2 tablespoons, quite a lot. And I'm going to put that on the heat in a second, but because I want to concentrate on the cooking process, I'm going to prepare the rest of it now. I love the height of this table. It's just, I like my other table, but I'm really enjoying this extra height. So we'll dice and crush up a couple of cloves of garlic and have that ready to go. Got a tin of tomatoes and a thing of tomato paste. You don't have to use tomato paste, but it gives it a slightly more intense flavour, and it is a bit nicer from what I can work out, having done a little bit of testing on this. I like it better with a bit more tomato paste than just the tin of tomatoes. All right, last thing to go in there is just gonna be some basil, and I'm just gonna get a piece like that because I'm actually gonna take it out again. Okay, I think that's ready to hit the heat. We'll get this on the heat for a few minutes. We just want it to be fragrant, and I want to just start to slightly make the onion translucent, not brown yet, not brown just yet. As you can see, you don't need coals for this because it's just a heat source, we're not sort of infusing flavour through the fire. And I'm using an Osprey camp braai because it's my favourite fire pit. Not the most compact, despite it being called a compact braai, but it's just my favourite. A little bit too much heat. Alright, that is starting to smell really good, so it's time to add the garlic. Something I'd love to know, how many of you actually make my recipes? And how many of you just watch this for entertainment? Because I'm guilty of not making heaps of the recipes I watch. Heaps and heaps. I just watch cooking for entertainment. So I'd love to know how many of you actually watch this and then make them. I know a lot of people do, but, you know, not the tens of thousands that are actually watching, so, yeah. Let me know in the comments. And some generously salted water. I'm just going to start warming up here in preparation for putting the pasta on. Alright, we're not quite browned here, and that's exactly what we want. We want it to be changed colour, but not browned. If that sort of makes sense. Like a, I don't know, a tanny, you get the idea. Alright, I'm going to put a bit of tomato paste in there. So, I want quite a lot. Probably looking at, what's this? 500 grams, so that's probably looking at about 150 grams of tomato paste in there. And we'll start stirring that around. So we just want to cook this tomato paste a little bit. Tiny touch more heat. Oh, pro tip for using one of these, have the prevailing wind going away from the screw. You can usually do it with your bare hands. That's cold. Alright, that's starting to look quite good. It's all sort of clumping up, it's reducing a little bit. Yeah, that's a good consistency. Now, you can see there's a bit of what they call fond on this, which is, it's basically burnt on bits of food, and there is so much flavour in that. So, the trick is to get that fond off. And what do we use for that? This is where the vodka comes in. I'm going to somewhat deglaze with vodka. I'm going a bit different here. Usually add a bunch of chilli to this. I'm using a vodka that I usually use for Bloody Marys. It's called Bunster's Shit the Bed vodka. There's no other word for it, it's just that's what it's called. And it's got vodka and spice. You can't even buy this, it's not a plug. It's just what I decided to use because I thought it would be fun. And I've used it before, and it's fun. So about 2 shots of vodka. Don't worry, this is safe for kids and everything. There's no actual alcohol in this, all the alcohol's burning off. I can smell it actually. Alright, it's looking all nicely infused. Time for the rest. Traditionally you'd use whole tomatoes, whole can of, like a can of whole tomatoes, not a whole can of, yeah, you get the idea. I'm using diced because I don't want to use an extra bowl to crush them up, so I figured I'd get them pre-crushed. Washing up is always a premium when you're camping, so I try and use as few vessels as possible. If that means you have to cut some little tiny corners like that, fine. Pepper. Bit of salt, not too much because there's a lot of salt in the pancetta. And this is where the big slug of basil comes in. We just want that to infuse, so I'm not going to cut it up because I'm actually going to pull it out at the end. We're going to cook this down for about 20 minutes to half an hour. I'm actually going to raise it up, a little bit less heat, and then we'll just let that do its thing for a while. What we're looking for in the reduction is to be able to put your scraper through it and it take a while to join back up, exactly like it's doing now, but it's only been on for 3 minutes, so in this case I actually want to make it a little bit runnier. I think that's actually to do with the diced tomatoes. There's usually more water in the whole tomatoes, the can of whole tomatoes, so that's an interesting one. See how now it joins back up immediately in the middle? You can't see the black. That's how it should be when it starts. I'm learning as you learn. Man, what is it with me and microphones? Honestly. Alright, so as you can see here, if you do that, it takes a few seconds to come through. You can kind of see the consistency, see how long it takes to join back up. We are done with that basil, so that can be disposed of. Oh. Oh, tastes great. And now things are about to get weird. I'll show you why. Cream. Now we want to do this to colour as opposed to quantity. So I would guess that that's about 100 ml of cream. But more than anything, we're after sort of a pinky, orangey sauce. And don't stand in the smoke like a moron. Also, now that that's on, I am going to actually, I'll get this off the heat so I can concentrate, but very soon I'm going to put my pasta in. Notice the sauce is basically completely done before I even put the pasta in to cook. That colour looks right to me. Maybe a touch more, Whoops, cracked that. So we want to cook this in for about a minute. And I'm not going to cook too much pasta here, not the right amount for this sauce. I'm going to keep the sauce as leftovers because it's really delicious. And because I like leftovers with fresh pasta, not with pre-cooked. Oops. That's about right. This can just go and sit by the side and wait. Drop that down and give it a nice rolling boil. Alrighty, that has been 12 minutes, so we should have some al dente pasta. Save a bit of the pasta water. So grab a bit of that, pour the rest out. I'll save a little bit more than that. Then you get your pasta, get your sauce, throw enough on. Want it to be pretty saucy. Yeah, that looks good. Touch of pasta water in there. Oh, look at that. That's super creamy now. Then, to make it even creamier and even nicer, shave in a bit of parmesan or pecorino, whatever you can get. Oh, this is what you don't want. You don't want these guys. Big bits. I'm actually going to shave this on the side and then drop it in. Put that in, give it a quick stir through. Oh, it smells amazing. And then I'm going slightly rogue here. I am going to eat it on my breadboard because I saw it done and it looked really cool. I'm going to see if it's an absolute nightmare and a wank or if it's actually a legitimate way to eat pasta. Bit of a sprinkle of some more basil. It's a bit too much. Bit more parmesan on top. Also means one less thing to wash up if you do it on your breadboard. That was the main selling point for me, if I'm completely honest. Right, bit of green on top. That's more Insta-worthy. And I actually think that gratuitous B-roll might even look all right. Let's have a look. Oh man, that was hard to do, gratuitous B-roll, when you're hungry. It's really good pasta. It's really, really good pasta. It's creamy, it's salty, a little bit spicy, not too spicy by any stretch. The STB sauce adds something really good. How does it go with beer? I'm on a sour, so it might be a little bit different. Exceptionally well, that one. Yeah. Super savoury. Tell you what, kids would love this. And the breadboard, it works. Now, what else does it go well with? Not that. Ah. Oh, that's good to be mixed in things. Oh, it's brutal on its own. Oh, what did I do that for? Oh. I'll see you in the next one. Oh. Oh, that is awful. It's like acid reflux in a bottle. It works so well in other things though.